Awful lot of information will come through here to y'all. I will not know what the hell they're talking about. Indeed, some of the information I'll drop, I'll let it go because it'll be coming in so strong that I'm not, that it starts, I'm thinking, am I linking to the psychic energy? So I'll stop it and they'll have to pull back and slow down a little bit and give it to me again. So it's a little bit spotty sometimes how it comes through. And that's normal too. They really want to be working with you following the session. That they're with you. They're connected to you. They're helping you all the time anyway. So they're very excited to do this. They're not going to live your life for you because they're no longer in the physical. Their mission and purpose is complete here in the physical, although their heartbeat is still on the ground through y'all. So those who come through, they were a cause, you are now an effect. I'm a spiritual medium. Death is my gift. My job, to connect you to your loved ones in spirit. Come join me on the incredible journey. I'm Pamela Theresa, medium in the raw. Prayer is the most powerful tool. There is nothing more powerful, and play around with it actually. Really, when you're in a dark space and you're in a Great Depression, open your heart and ask for help. But here's the thing, Christ himself could not heal the one that wasn't receiving the healing. That would violate free will. Person had to be open to the healing, so it's really the person who is ill or injured that needs to, that is the true healer. Just receiving the love of Christ, which is ultimately the healing. So when you need healing, if you are asking in prayer for healing and that you're in darkness and in depression, if you refuse to let go of it and hand it over, you'll be in that until you let it go, and then you can feel the difference. You can feel the healing. But it's so much about that. It's very important. The grief process of what we're transitioning and talking about, that is something that will hold you and you'll cycle through. That's a human experience. That's the place where that's true hell. I would say, of all hells, grief is hell. And everybody at one point in time, they live it. And everybody at one point in time has an important dead. Now we'll talk that way just to kind of keep it light and such like that, but they're not. But they say let's keep it real. So sometimes things, medium in the raw, come out of it now. It's that way because they're not afraid to say, hey, well, we're dead, but we're not dead. Or they'll step forward and say, I am your important dead person, just so you know. They'll do that. Sense of humor. Their personalities are very much intact because it's the soul that powers the body. So that's what just surprises everybody. They're not invisible, floating on clouds. Are you kidding me? And then I've got a lot of them talking here. Everything on my mouth really is directed from them. They're setting up for the read. It's going to be a powerful night. There ain't no resting in peace about it. They're like, are you kidding me? You're a mess. We're working on it. They hear your prayers. That's your free will. That's why prayer is powerful. So when you pray for help, they are standing in line going, okay, here's what we can do, here's what we can do. Okay, they're starting to give me information here. And who worked in a movie theater?
He died on the 23rd.
What was going on the 24th? Is this brother?
Her father, my husband, her brother-in-law.
Your brother-in-law?
Sherry.
Your brother-in-law. Your sisters?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, your father, your husband, your brother-in-law. Who worked is an usher in a film house?
His dad.
Okay, all right, he's coming through. Okay.
Worked in the theater.
But the 24th is very important as well. So don't worry about it. You'll start putting the pieces of the puzzle together. I have my tasting aspirin connected to him, like BC powder. It's like stuff that you put in that's loose. Is that connected to you or you? What was going on there with that? BC powder. Also, too, who has a thyroid issue? I'm empathically starting to link to our family right there, okay? Then also, too, who had really bad numb feet? And then also, too, and that's associated with, there was something, this might be with our 24 in the back of the usher and such like that. Also getting a diabetic connection as well, connected. They'll come through really hard and fast, okay? Okay. You'll see how the reads will match up. It's really quite interesting. Here's a lot of powders, like BC powders, aspirin and powder. You okay? All right. He over here?
I don't know.
Okay. Did he like really hot, spicy food? Okay, that's okay. Okay. All right. And his feet were bothered.
He was a diabetic too.
Okay. Okay. See how it lines up? So they're really starting to line up and show off. And who finally got rid of the red car that was belonging to the family member that was just kind of like an eyesore? No, it's specifically red. Finally got rid of it?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, okay.
Because my mom,
This
when she
be
passed
your
away,
father who's coming through here?
Well, my mom and dad.
Well, I've got a male coming through talking about this. So, was he a car guy?
No, but he didn't. I don't think he liked that car.
Okay, so that's where he's coming through. It's like that just need to be, we need to get rid of that. That's what he's talking about. What happened to his brain?
You see.
Empathically, I'm starting to feel it. Or did your mom suffer with a lot of headaches and such like that? Into left side?
That's right. My mother had a brain tumor.
Okay, left side?
I guess. I don't know what side, but it was a brain.
Left side?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
One more time.
Who was at the last breath? The last breath when somebody was passing, but refused to leave the side, and the hands were actually turning blue.
Georgia. Georgia. I'm with her when she passed. I was with her when she passed.
And she,
Hands turned blue.
Blue. So she had strong veiny hands.
but you noticed they're blue and it kind
Yeah,
of
they
freaked
were-
you out a little
they-
bit?
They sort of feet too.
She's talking about it freaked you out a little bit?
Of course.
Do you have a Debbie or Deborah connection?
That's
That's my sister.
Okay, all right. So then, is she still in the physical?
Yes.
Okay, you notice how automatically my hand goes, she's still over here in the physical, your father's talking about her. Now, is she more like your dad?
Yes.
Okay, that's what just a little validation, he's talking about that, yeah. Is she the one with the red car? Okay. The reason why your father works an awful lot with your sister is because they're so much alike anyway, and your mom puts it off on him to do.
Just like you did before. Okay. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, they're still operating in that same way.
Okay.
And they're
That
still
makes some
the
sense.
head of the family. They're
Yes.
still taking care of everything.
Oh my gosh.
And they're saying, we are not resting in peace. They're laughing, they love it, they adore it. But your father, did he go first?
Yes.
He had a house prepared for your mom.
Yes.
And he's talking about how he did have it finished this time.
He needs to have it finished? Or he didn't have it?
He had it finished this time. He finished it to her specifications.
Oh,
For when she transitioned, it was right there the way she wanted it. Who's been having heart issues that's still here in the physical, congestive heart failure? That's still here in the physical. Who are we connecting? Okay, that'll come down later on. It's something that's already going on. We got stents in the heart. We had surgeries. We're having heart issues.
My dad's sister who's
He's still here in the physical. Okay.
I think just did it last month.
Okay, that's okay. So that's just his way of talking about that. Have you been thinking about changing your hair? Well, spirit never tells any fibberoos. So what's going on with what you've been going to do with your hair?
I really hadn't. Oh, well, I wanted it a little lighter. It was a little bit too dark.
That's what he's talking about. Okay, so it's not a bad thing. It's just simply you're not happy with it.
Yeah, it's just.
Well, that's meaning you want to change your hair.
No, I guess the thought. I don't think about it as, you know what I mean? I think.
But every time you look in the mirror, it is, and he's right there with you going, just go get it done. It irritates you. It's not right for you, wanting to change it right.
Yeah.
So that's what he's talking
Is it
about.
Smile? Is this my husband?
Yes.
Okay.
He knows how important your hair is. Why do you think he's talking about your hair?
He was always a busybody. I mean, he was always into things that you wouldn't. A lot of people aren't into. You know what I mean? As far as men, you know.
What? Who got socked in the nose? Did he get at one point really hit in the nose really hard?
No, I did.
Was that you? Is he left? Who's the left-handed one?
He was.
Okay, yeah. He's showing that. He's like, you know. Was he suffering post-traumatic stress disorder?
He had a very rare disease, a neurological
It
disease.
was like post-traumatic stress disorder. It was really weird where things were magnified for him, and he really couldn't help it. He said it was almost like a rush of hormones, like a woman when he really looks at it, right? Sometimes when we get the hormones from hell, right? He said it had that kind of effect on me where sometimes you just didn't know it was me because of the effect. But you can see it if you study it and you understand post-traumatic stress disorder, you can see that's kind of what it demonstrated as, he says. So if you study post-traumatic stress, you'll see that he displayed quite a bit of that. Does that make sense? Okay. So it had something to do with what was going on with his physical body that created that effect. So it's like some of the things that I did.
He's explaining his behavior.
Right. It's like some of the things that I did were really out of my control. For real.
I definitely believe that.
Yeah. So it's important. But he's coming in, they know what
But
to
he
do.
wants us to know that.
You need to know that he knows that, and that he needs you to know that. So, because we're not about excusing bad behavior, he says, but truth is truth. Sometimes, and that's why he equates it to like a hormonal imbalance. When you're a hormonal mess, there's not a, it's just, it overtakes you, you know, and sometimes he's like, so that's why he's using that as a corresponding thought. But who had the catheter at the end? I know this is very common, but had urinary tract infections really bad and kidney, oh gosh, who had the kidney disease?
My sister. Cancer kidney.
Okay, it definitely is, yes, for sure. And she was complaining an awful lot about her back hurting even before she was diagnosed, okay? Also too, and that's what she's talking about. She's coming through where she couldn't control her bladder. She was peeing a lot, and then also she was getting a lot of yeast infections, urinary tract infections, and then it started out. And then she's talking about when she was about 32 years old, that's a point of power in her life, what was going on. So you go back to that period of time that she's talking past. Did she lose a child?
Yes.
Okay, she is so happy to be home. She's like, and so she talks really fast, and she's like that way. So sometimes when all of a sudden your mind's like, that's her signature mark, because you're like, whoa, my brain's gonna crash. There's so much going on. Anyway, she had a hard time leaving in a way.
Yes, she did.
She fought it. She said that I reacted to a lot of things, and she's like, I'm really sorry for being grumpy. She's like, she was bitter, she was mean. She said, but you couldn't help but to love me, but still I was hard to live with.
She was.
There was so much pain. This your sister?
Mm-hmm.
Did your father leave early?
Her father did.
Yeah, she's talking about that's associated with a lot of the pain that she had. She is just, she's like, she is my sister. where does some of this line up for you? Some of the information. He comes a lot slower, and he comes in slower.
He's not a talker.
He's not a talker.
That's why, and so that's meant to be demonstration. So, and also too, the way he was with you is ask her permission for who she wants to hear from. And so that's exactly why we did it that way. So he's honoring you in that. Also too, he's a lot quieter. You'll notice the shift of energies when we go to you. So you'll have to think back in your memory, but there must have been a Pennsylvania connection, Maryland connection through him.
Grandma.
You'll find it. Or maybe he's trying to guide you down the genealogy trail.
My grandma died the week after he did.
But she was born in Maryland. That's no.
Oh, so on the border of Pennsylvania?
I don't know where.
Okay, so research this in the genealogy, but that is powerful validation of why this is how spirit will work.
But they're together.
Yeah. You have to understand what happened here in the physical. It's kind of like Vegas.
Today's
It's Vegas in the physical. This is what your dad's saying. He's got a quirky sense of humor. So also too, one of the reasons why he'd be bringing up cards and gambling in Vegas was our connection with that. It always means something.
Oh, we used to play cards all the time.
Okay. And it's fun. Did y'all take a trip out to Vegas? Just have a big old blast?
My mom and I went out
Okay.
there 2 months after he passed away.
Okay. There you have it.
There you go.
Slid beyond.
How are the two of y'all connected?
Sisters.
Okay.
Your sister too?
We have one more in between us, but she's in Japan.
Okay.
So far drive.
Okay. So anyway, look at it like that. And so his sense of humor, his quippy, interesting sense of humor. Is your mom still here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's what he points to. Were they together when he passed?
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's talking about. He works a lot for her. He's like, I work for her. Okay, so that's got to mean something. He works for her. They're talking strong genealogy. Yeah. Who's been wanting to do that little bit of research?
My sister Andrea.
Okay. So there's she's hearing them. There's something about it that would be a beautiful discovery.
Well, we did discover stuff after he died.
And he talks about beautiful discovery.
Beautiful, but
It is all beautiful because when you see the past, you will learn there's the past will have a correlation to the now, and history repeats itself over and over and over and over and over and over again. Doesn't matter if we're in 1492 or 1992. Human beings, emotions are emotions. You'll see it. I see that she's going to go far back in genealogy, so that's pretty cool. Did he have a child who committed suicide? Where's their suicide connection? Is that through you, a friend of yours? Don't worry, it'll make sense. They always do that. They'll pop up. We're changing gears. We're going to be talking about this. Something happened a while ago. Yeah?
oh no, it was just something that I talked with about a friend.
Okay.
Oh, well, about the suicide, I work at a bank, one of the officers, and when I were talking, and he said how he witnessed, or he went to 6 suicides last week, because he enjoys kind of looking at the cases, and him and I were just talking about the
Okay.
different ones.
Okay, so that's
He likes looking at.
Well, he likes going because he's a police officer, so he likes the investigation part.
Okay.
So-
He's just
Okay.
intrigued.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, good.
It's not related to me, but it was kind of weird.
That is weird though.
It is related to you, and there is a communication about this because he's interested in knowing and understand why people commit suicide.
A little bit, but he's more interested in the people who survive and kind of, you know, like maybe what had led up to the suicide and different things like that.
Yeah, so don't fret over it. Sometimes that's just simply what it is that they knew that you would say, oh yeah, I did. It's an interesting validation. You were just talking about suicide. I'm like, where's our suicide connection?
getting all the specimens for my kids tonight. Tried to throw them.
Okay.
So he's like in a bag, but I was trying to give him to the church. I didn't even know if he was going to come through tonight.
You don't think that he came through tonight?
No, I didn't know if he was going to because
Oh,
he's
okay.
very
Okay.
quiet and
That's how he came
reserved.
through to start with.
And
Go back and see it.
Yeah.
Why would he out of nowhere, if you say, okay, I want something. He's like, all right, give her fruity pebbles.
Oh, wow.
That's terrible.
And the dog, listen.
Yeah.
And your dog.
Look, sometimes what you really want is him. Physical. He knows you, he's going to be talking about you. And that's the way spirit will come through. But there's relevance with the fruity pebbles and to what's been going on. This is private. You'll look back on it. You'll go, oh, this is what he was talking about. That's what he brings that up. And who likes the garlic toast an awful lot? Okay.
She likes garlic toast.
I like garlic on everything.
Well, I mean, he likes to talk about food with you.
I love food.
Okay, it's good. So have you thought about being a food blogger?
I actually was talking about becoming a food critic last week.
Okay.
I was gonna quit my
Talk
job.
about validation.
Okay,
Now it's
okay.
pouring out.
He's like, yeah, he says,
He
well,
loves her. He loves her.
you might want to explore that. That might help to brighten up your intelligence. He doesn't mean to be disrespectful, but he says that this is frustrating you. You are very quick in the mind, and lately it's just been boring and slow and forgetful. So he's like, you got to do things to make it, to bring it back.